What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Footy with an Edge. We're back again with another live. I'm loving these shows, guys. I'm so excited to be live every day and have a conversation with every single one of you. This is just fun for me, honestly. The highlight of my day, other than when the videos go live and I get some great comments from you guys as well. So just this interaction in general is amazing to see. Alex, evening. Rishikesh, how to see you? How to see you? Nice to see you. How you doing? Imran, some of the same folks I see every day, man. It's awesome to see you guys. Like I said, highlight of my day. It's a little hot in this room, man. Jesus. But we're here to talk about Joao Gomes. Let's have this discussion. But before that, there's some interesting tweets that I saw from United exclusive that few people were sharing in the Discord. So thank you guys for doing that. I know Alex, Kalyugs, all you guys were kind of we're kind of talking about it. So let me just pull this up on screen here. Let's see, share window. Okay, so did you guys see this? Where apparently United, let me zoom this in a bit more. United look to bolster their options at wingback next summer alongside their pursuit of a central midfielder. United are assessing their options to strengthen their midfield. Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton, Carlos Baleba are all among the names in the frame. Work has also been done to assess Wolves' João Gomes and Andre, as well as Angelo Stila and Conor Gallagher. So this is like the whole universe of names that we were all looking at, right? So it's interesting that every single name is in here, and it's also interesting that Joao Gomes is mentioned as a summer option. But personally, I think there's a good chance we go for someone like him or Andre in the winter or in the January transfer window. So that'll be interesting to see. And then this one here, this is the big one for me, where United are privately targeting a top 6 finish in the Premier League this season, and their budget would be buoyed by European qualification. They hope to make major savings on their wage bill, with the call saving a possible £2.1 million per week. And this is from Samuel Luckers. I mean, I know he's not always been very accurate in terms of the stuff that he puts out, but it is something interesting, right? That they are kind of looking to spend a lot of money. But let's be honest, we're going to save a lot of money from Rashford's salary, from Casemiro's salary. Maybe we offload Bruno as well in the summer. Obviously, there were talks about doing that last summer, right? So these are all possibilities that we should be considering. And then this one here, United are considering adding a new goalkeeper and a wide player, depending partly on the futures of loanees Radek Vitek and Hariyama. So I think this is probably more for the youth team. So these are interesting, right? And this is, I guess, part of the same tweet as that we just saw. Prepared to back Amram with another clear out to fund the next phase of their squad rebuild. United plan to overhaul their midfield next year and could part finance their incomings with significant departures and sale. So this is kind of more stuff that we've always seen, right? Yeah, Sean says Avengers of midfielders. What is it lagging for anybody? Guys, I just want to make sure it's not lagging for anyone. Am I clear? Hello? Can you see me okay? Let me get some comments in the chat to make sure that I am clear for everybody. No wonder felt familiar. He was that midfielder who has really good engine. Sean says stable, but Sean's also using that premium Erewhon Wi-Fi, right? So somebody else other than Sean. Okay. Rishi's in India and it's fine. So okay, we're good. Although India also has good internet. Alex says it's good. Okay, we're good. Sean's brother, give it a rest. Never. You took flame from me for wearing the Erewhon hat, and then you decided to wear it the next stream. So it seems like you want me to roast you. Just being honest here. BB says I can't watch Man United stream after what happened at Old Trafford. I'm sorry. Are you talking about the Everton game? Because that sounds like more serious than the Everton game. Didn't Luckhurst get banned from United's press conferences? Look, I'm not saying this is like the most reliable source. Absolutely, that's not my point here. The point is that would we be excited by an overhaul like this? Right, that's kind of the question. because we have to discuss the news that's out there, and it looks like this is the most credible source that's out there today. Doesn't mean it's right, but that is what it is. But this is the main topic that I wanted to talk about. Jesus, my words are all over the place today. Uh, essentially, ESPN Brazil has come out with this reporting that United want to sign him in January. And apparently a possible negotiation is not expected to be easy since Wolves are expected to ask for a high price. So what do you guys how do you guys let's see, Andy, I think you mentioning Andre gave the media an impetus to write or speculate that United are interested in him. I'm not going to take credit for Andre, bro. I think James at the Muppeteers has been talking about Andre for a long time. I think he was the one who said in one of our podcasts that he would like both Joao Gomes and Andre, and so I think that's an interesting shout. But yeah, for sure, Andre is an interesting player as well. I think I like both of their FBref stats, although they don't pop that much. They are part of a struggling midfield, so you have to take that into account and take it with a piece like whatever pinch of salt. Outer Signal, how you doing, man? Nice to see you again. Composed. You doubt its credibility. Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's ESPN Brazil and Samuel Luckhurst. We're not talking about Fabrizio Romano or like Ornstein. Um, this rumor stemmed from you, Andy. Okay, fair enough. I'll take the credit. Dreams Come True says, I don't think we can spend big in January. However, getting him will be great. We need legs in the midfield. At least we can try other combinations with him in the squad. Absolutely, dude. Honestly, Valentino Barco, Argentinian midfielder. Yeah, I'll check him out. Honestly, we can't like beggars can't be choosers right now, honestly, because we're looking at this guy and thinking about signing him. We have no depth in the midfield. Like Amorim, he didn't want to bring Ugarte on when we needed a goal. He barely wants to bring him on when we need to defend. So Ugarte is as good as done. Like I honestly, he's the only player in our squad that I would say even in January maybe we should just let him go. I know that sounds very harsh and it goes against everything I've been saying, but for me, he offers less than Xerxes on the team. And I know everyone disagreed with me about my Xerxes take. That's totally fair. I'm not even saying I'm right. That's just how I felt that based on him not having any minutes, I thought he did okay in that game. And considering that everybody else was like a seasoned starter for us that didn't perform well, I thought Xerxes, relatively speaking, did okay. Um, Alex says, I'd only want Gomez if it doesn't impact going for Anderson in the summer. I agree with you, but why should it impact going for Anderson in the summer? Like this going for Gomez now should kind of be like us paying for the Casemiro / Ugarte squad replacement before they leave the team. So I don't think 6 months of having the salary on the books or the amortization on the books is gonna break the bank in terms of how United can operate, especially with that new what did they sign, the new line of credit or whatever, revolving line of credit that they signed. So it should be fine. You can't say everyone. I'm with you on the Xerxes stance. Yeah, I appreciate that, Rishikesh. But I mean, if you look at the comments speak for themselves, right? And I'm not one of those that just shits on everybody that doesn't agree with me, because I totally believe, like, listen, there's a reason why we love the game of football so much. You can watch the same game and have a different opinion of what happened. And for example, Semix and I, like, we get along on 99.9% of things, but he has a different opinion on Dorgu. I have a different opinion on Dorgu, but we still try to find common ground and see what we can learn from each other. So I'm fine with people not liking Xerxes, but for me, he did his best considering he has no minutes in his feet. Guys, we have 50 people watching. Come on, drop the like on the video. Help out the channel. I really appreciate it. Okay. Um Rishi says line of credit is just standard working capital stuff. It means nothing. When you have as much net worth as United, line of credit carries like 1% interest. Was somebody else saying something about the line of credit, Rishi, or just adding that as additional info? Anyways, yeah. So Joao Gomez, I like him a lot. Let's just take a look at his FBref page, and then I'll open up the lines for whoever wants to have a chat. Joao Gomez. Okay. So he has great tackle numbers, very middling, like progressive passing, and dribbling numbers, essentially progressive numbers, I guess. And if we look at his complete scouting report, passes completed, throw-ins taken. Yeah, he doesn't really shine anywhere. Except for the defensive side of things, right? He's got very good defensive tackle numbers. Defensive third, middle third, makes sense. Wolves is not a pressing team, so not very much tackles in the attacking third. Dribbles, tackle, dribblers challenge, very good as well. Tackles and interceptions in the 90th percentile, also a good sign. But this is obviously last 365 days, right? So if we just take a look at this season, successful take-ons 93%. So it looks like he's a decent dribbler for a midfielder. Crosses into the penalty area, also decent. That's also a good sign for us. Tackles is kind of the same story. Yeah, so he's a very, like, if you watch his highlights, right? These are just the stats. If you watch the eye test, he's a very combative midfielder, somebody who likes to eat up ground. In a way, you could say he's essentially Ugarte, but much better on the ball. And again, Ugarte is a very low bar to compare to, so I understand that completely. But for me, I think Joao Gomez is a big upgrade, and he would be cheaper than Ugarte. The only thing is his salary would be the only question, because I think he's already. Let me just pull up the Capology page. I love Capology, man, because it's super helpful for me to always get a good idea of how much money somebody's making, because it always helps me understand or put things into perspective. Like, hey, how much would this guy cost, or how much is he making, and how much, this tells you the personal side of the story, right? So if we're looking at Capology here, he's making 131,000 pounds per week with bonuses, which means to come to United, he'll probably want a bump to 150. And this would be my only question. I think this is the only thing they're looking at and saying, do we want to sign somebody from a relegation team and give him more money than Amad Diallo? Because I think Amad is making 130 or something like that. Let me see, Amad Diallo. Yeah, Ahmad is making 120 with 30,000 bonus, and we don't know what the bonus incentives are, right? So would they want to give Joao Gomez the same money as Amad Diallo? He is 24. He does have Premier League experience, so you could argue that that makes sense. But this would be the big question that Ineos is looking at, because he's not getting a big pay rise coming from Wolves. Is Gomez really currently in the Brazil squad? Would he be in with a shot for the World Cup? Interesting question, Alex. I know you're also waiting in the waiting room. I'll bring you on in a second. Let me just go to FOPMob and look at the Brazil squad. Let's go. Look at their fixtures. They just played Colombia. Or wait, no, they didn't just play Colombia. My bad. They just played Tunisia. And they got Casemiro, Bruno in the midfield, Rodrigo, Estevao, Cunha, and Vinicius. Joao Pedro, I don't see him in the squad. There's Andre Santos. I don't see Joao Gomez in the squad, but I'm sure if he comes to United, his chances to go to the World Cup increase massively. So that's a good point. That salary is way too high for someone who might spend a lot of time on the bench if we sign more midfielders. Yeah, this is a great point. This is, I guess, the crux of the problem, right? Guys, please like the video. I see 50, 60 people watching. Would appreciate it if you can like the stream. How's he on the ball though? I really can't stress how much I don't want to see another Ugarte. These comparisons don't reassure me at all. No, I agree with you. See, listen, when you're watching a player in a team that's really struggling, it's hard to judge. It's hard to say they're bad on the ball because their on the ball numbers are bad, and it's hard to say they're really good defensively because their defensive numbers are good, right? So that would be my cause for concern with someone like Joao Gomes, which is we're looking at somebody that is creating having a lot of tackles and interceptions per 90, but we don't have he is doing it for a struggling team where you're forced to defend a lot more, where you're forced to put in a lot more blocks. So is that going to translate to a team like United? I mean, you could argue we're also a struggling team, so that's maybe bit of tush there, but yeah, anyways, Steve says hello everyone. NJ Pro says, is he someone who'll be able to provide effective cover in a two-man midfield? Yes, I do. That's one thing he's good at, which is he can cover a lot of ground. He's very he hustles a lot. He's good at tackling dribblers. So defensively he definitely can. On the ball he's not better than Casemiro. So whatever that means, but as a squad player he's really good. We are a mid-table team, except that in life is easy. No, I hear you. Rishi, for sure. You're totally right on that point. And a player on a struggling team, their stats may not reflect well. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Let's open up the lines and get Alex onto the show. Alex, how we doing?
Yeah, good. I'm hoping you can hear me all right.
Yes, I can.
Um, thanks for having me on. I'm glad that you're talking about midfield. I think last time we spoke, we said this was the one thing for me more than anything that you look at this squad, and let's just put the poor result of the weekend to the side for a second and say there have been so many United managers, coaches post Ferguson on and asked for midfield replacements, whatever those replacements may be, have not got what they want.
Mm-hmm.
I could cite two big examples. I would probably say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted Declan Rice, Eric Ten Hag wanted Frankie De Jong. Now you can debate in the
Well, you
chat.
could even go further. You can say to unlock Pogba, we got a 29-year-old Matic.
Exactly. So
And even
there are
that would
loads.
count as a good signing because
Yeah, I
compared
mean
to the
there
stuff
are
we've been doing.
indeed, and there are loads and loads of examples. Like people, you can list a lot, right? But those are just a couple of them. I look at it now and think it's a little bit now or never. The thing that we kind of said in a couple of with a lot of fans, and watched the game live last night with a few mates, United fans, and a few of them neutrals, and they asked the same question. Just watching the game yesterday, they said, "Why does the ball always go out wide with you guys? Why do they never play the ball through the middle?" And and this is guys who play football, right? We're just fans, and we just said, well, looks like they're afraid of doing the central progression thing, or they're just not capable of doing the central progression thing. And it's been like that for so long. I now look at it and think even experienced players like Bruno and Casemiro are not doing it because either A, they've been told ball go long, and ball go long has been a theme for the last 6 or 7 games. But the players aren't looking at it thinking, if that doesn't work, what else should we do? And it
Mm-hmm.
felt like yesterday there was a lot of that awful horseshoe thing that you saw last season, where the ball would go to a left wing back, and then they pass it around a back five to the right wing back, and then they
Mm-hmm.
do the same thing again because they were up against a low block and didn't really know what to do. Red card or no red card, like there's no excuse. Playing a team, they're down to 10 men at Old Trafford. United should be winning. I don't care how
Yeah.
bad the squad is. But
No, I agree.
at
I
the
agree.
at the moment, you're looking at the squad thinking they're not equipped to be able to have Plan B or Plan C. So like they're going long because that's what they've been told to do. It's now a case of teams know how to combat that. Everton showed that yesterday. They know how to combat that, they can't combat the other things, and United can't do the other things. That's why midfield is important in my view, is because you need to have a different way of progressing the ball, and we don't have that. So whoever it is that comes in, I think it needs to be 2 or 3 central midfielders, not just Gomez. So that's why I said, like, if it's Gomez in January and then 1 or 2 more in the summer, happy days. That's a start. Whoever it is that does come in, they need to be first choice. They need to be Premier League proven, and they need to be able to.
Rishi, we just recorded the Stat Patterns episode yesterday, and it's or maybe it was on the live. I forget. I've been doing a lot of content lately. I forget which video it was, but I was talking to Rishi, and he said when he says we need somebody to come start, he's talking about the first 16 players, right? So essentially the first 11 and the 5, because what happens is you get a Šeško injury and suddenly it's not the first 16 anymore, it's the first 15, right? Because one of those guys has to now go start. So I think João Gomes is of the quality that he could start in our midfield, in the sense that he could be a bench player that starts when needed. And of course, next season, our aspirations are to be in Europe and be in 4 competitions. So we're going to have a lot more minutes to go around. So can we put him in a FA Cup final? Can we put him in a FA Cup quarterfinal? Like those types of games starting for the team? That's the question that we need to answer. The only concern I have, and Alex, you might actually be the person who left this comment last time we were talking about him, which is how much money does he make? Right? That must have been you. So this is something I love looking at, because it tells you a lot about where somebody is in their footballing journey, right? And somebody that takes a decent jump, like let's say 50% to 100% jump to come to United, I feel more comfortable with. Like, even if you look at Semenyo, he's making £85,000 a week. I think that's including bonuses, if I'm not wrong. Let me just take a look so I'm not talking nonsense. Capology, Semenyo. But the point being that I prefer somebody that essentially is getting a nice boost and feels like they're well compensated the second they get here. Yeah. So Semenyo is making £75,000 base, and he has a 18,750 bonus. So he's making less than 100K even with all his bonuses. So if he comes to United and makes 150 or 200, that's a 50 to 100% jump for him. And for me, that is a good sign. For Joao Gomes, my problem is it's 44 million and it's relatively high wages. And that's the only reason, because he's not. If that was Elliot Anderson, I'd be like, take my money right now, right? If that was Elliot Anderson, if that was Adam Wharton, if that was a Baleba, because Baleba in comparison is making like £15,000 a week, right? That is chump change, and he would be happy with 100,000, because he'd be like whatever 5xing his wages. So that would be my concern. But to answer your point about the tactical thing, about why we seem to be going wide so much, I think there's 2 reasons for me. And one is that the Amorim system ideally does do a lot of work out wide. We're just not very good at it. That's why it seems, because the point is to go out wide to create space in the middle. And we're going out wide, but we're not creating space in the middle because the passing and movement is not quick enough. That's the problem. If you did you watch Chelsea versus Barcelona yesterday?
I saw the highlights. I didn't watch the whole game.
Highlights were crazy. It looked like a basketball game the whole time. There were so many disallowed goals. But if you watch that game, these are 2 teams that play forward the back system. These are 2 teams that like to have the pitch be very wide. So there's a lot of spaces to exploit. And when you watch Chelsea play, like Estevao, he's 18, but he knows how to receive the ball and he knows how to play the ball in a way that is required for a Premier League quality. That's why he gets game time. It's not just because they purchased him for big money and they want to throw him in the deep end. That's why he's starting for Brazil, right? Because he knows to do those things. Whereas for us, as good as Ahmad and Bumo have been this season, there are games where they don't look like themselves, right? And this is, it's hard for me to criticize like the last 2 or the last 3 problems within the team, but it is a problem nonetheless, right? We have to talk about it. So for me, the issue is twofold. One is we go out wide and we're not good at putting in crosses. We're not good at exploiting the space within 1 or 2 passes. We always need that extra pass. We always need somebody to stand on the ball, and we allow the team to get into a rest defense. The second thing is through the middle. as much as I said Xerxes had a good game in terms of what I expected from him because he's been sitting on the bench for so long, um, he is struggling to receive the ball to feet at times. He's taking loose touches as well. So even like if we didn't want to go wide and put it straight in through the middle and then have him turn and pass it out wide, so that creates some space, that is also something that's not working. So
Oh, I totally agree.
we've got
Yeah.
problems all across the attack, which is why we have this issue. And it's a very good point from whoever you were watching the game with, because that is definitely true. Like, why the hell are we going out wide? We're going out wide because we want to do something better with it, but we're not able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, especially when it's a team down to 10 men, you can see this a lot. And anyone who's played football at any level, soccer if you're in the US, will say one team has one man less.
Oh,
and
you would cut out for a second, but you're good now.
It's a simple
You're
thing
good. You're
when
good. Yeah.
when a team has one man less. It's how do I find the spare man on my team quickly and in such a way that they can exploit the space. The big thing for me yesterday was thinking the moment that red card happened, there's been a little bit of criticism of Amorim in terms of in-game management and sometimes taking too long to make a change. The moment that red card happened, my brain was saying, put Ahmad at right wing back.
Yeah, take Mazraoui off, right?
Yeah, you're going to have to sacrifice either Dorgu or Mazraoui or Joao and put Mazraoui at right centre back. Whatever it is, you've got to sacrifice one of those three and put Ahmad at right wing back and get either Mount or Mainu on now, because it's going to be attack versus defence at some point in this game. That's before Everton scored.
Also, Everton were crap. Everton were so bad. One of the worst teams we've played this season, because after they scored the goal, they couldn't string two passes together. If that was Brentford or Crystal Palace with 10 men, we lose 3 or 4-0.
Yeah, completely agree. And I think that looking at that, I was looking at it thinking, this is one of those occasions where they've got to start moving the ball quicker. And the team that started last night don't get a free pass, in my view. Like lethargy or just the slowness of the way they were playing. And like you said as well, having to take the extra touch before the ball in the box, or the extra touch before then realizing the opposition rest defense has now gone into 2 banks of 4 or a bank of 5 or 6 or whatever it is. And that's going to make life even more difficult because they're moving the ball so slowly. I think a lot of it is you've still got players who can't totally execute what Amorim wants. That's number one. Number two, because of that, you've got players who should be in the final third, so like your 10s and your striker, having to drop deep and help to compensate for an issue in the middle of the park where they can't progress the ball quickly enough. So that's why I look at it and think they need to resolve midfield. And if they do, then all of a sudden everything else changes.
Yeah, I want to clarify something. The ball progression, traditionally speaking, happens a lot from the midfielders, whereas in this system, it's actually down to the center backs. The left and right center back and the central center back, they have to do a lot of the ball progression. And yesterday on the ball, all our defenders were horrible. Joao had one of his worst games on the ball. Luke Shaw as well. Like we had 3 players marking Tierno Berry, right? And those guys, I remember in the Grimsby game actually when De Ligt came on for Fredrickson, I believe, he was going on the overlap, putting in crosses, right? And he had a few shots as well. Whereas yesterday, I didn't see Joao doing that much, right? So we were bad in terms of carrying the ball forward. We were also bad in terms of passing the ball through. And so, in previous seasons under Ten Hag, for example, in a game that we were struggling in, you'd see Bruno kind of play the quarterback role, right? Even in fact, the Liverpool quarterfinal that we won 4-3. You had Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes as the 2 center backs and Anthony as left back and whoever else was right back. And they were playing the quarterback role, just pinging balls through. Whereas in this system, that's not how we play. We need the center backs to be very, very good on the ball. And that was a big problem for us. And also ball progression through carries happens through the wing backs, happens through the 10s. And Bumo had a bad game. We missed Cunha badly. There's a bunch of reasons. I will say this, though, about Amorim. People seem to think that I think it's all sunshine and rainbows with Amorim because I defend him so much or the system. But the truth is, he could have probably thrown the kitchen sink a little bit more in the last 10 minutes. Because if I just pull up the team yesterday, because we only made 3 subs, we had 5 subs
Yep.
available, and either he looked at that team and said, I've already put out my best team out there, or he looked at it and said, this is a moment that we need to go through. This is a loss that we need to have. Either way, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's what the fans think, right? Because I would have rather we won, even if we played like shit. So you see, there's Lissandro Martinez, Aiden Heaven, Malacia Ugarte, and Shea Lacey. So
That's
there's
not
an
much in
argument to
terms
be
of
made.
attacking.
It's not much. Shea Lacey's the only one, and then do you want to like ruin his confidence by getting booed by the crowd at the end of the game? That's the real question. So I feel like Shea Lacey's the one, maybe, and you could argue maybe Ugarte could have come in. You take 2 center backs off and we put Lacey and Ugarte, where it's just like 2 at the back and then the rest just attacking. That could have been something we could have done. So Amram isn't without blame. I mean, in my match reaction, I said it was 60-40 to the players. And Amram needs to take that. And in fact, in his post-match press conference, he took all the blame. He said it's my fault.
One or two have just said that in the chat, actually, quite interestingly. Out of Signal said it. Jokes aside, that's why I think we should play Casemiro at centre back when we expect to dominate possession. Yeah, like I totally get that, and what you're saying with taking a centre back off. Yeah, those are the kind of adjustments that you kind of hope at some point Amorim will realise that's what needs to be done, and that you can't always just rigidly stick to 3-4-2-1 the way he has it, or 5-2-3 as it is when they haven't got the ball. When the ball is back.
Oh, it's 5-4-1. 5-4-1 is more of the shape. 5-2-3 we saw a little bit more of earlier in the season, but very close.
Whatever that shape, but whatever that shape is, it's 5 to begin with, right? So, like, he needs to understand that. I think in certain game states, especially in the Premier League, where the margin for being that slow to make that kind of decision is like there isn't that margin for error. He might have had that in Portugal, but here it's like at that moment in time, it had to be bang, make the change, and say to them, right, we're going to be 2 at the back, and the third centre back. You can still have your third centre back. The third centre back might be Casemiro or Ugarte or whoever it is. And say to them, you're going to have to push quite high. And okay, it's only Barry at the back. We're going to have to take a risk if it's Grealish on the break, but we need a goal. We're 1-0 down. The idea is overload, and that didn't come.
Alex, if I may present this analogy to you, there are some links for us to go for, like Vinicius Jr., right? He's available, apparently. 100 million euros, we could get Vinny. The question was posed in our last Three Devils podcast that I did with Semix and Muppeteers. And I said, hell no, because we don't want another diva in the team to spoil the rest of the apples, right? But I didn't say I don't want that profile of player. What I want is the next Vinicius Jr., right? I want us to go for an Estevao who could be the next Vinny. And when I look at Ruben Amorim, he reminds me the manager profile of the next Vinicius Jr., which is essentially, what Arsenal did with Arteta, right? They went and got him in his first management job. And how long has he been there now? 6 years, 7 years?
Yep.
Something
Season
like that,
6 now.
right?
Yeah.
And every single one of the players in his squad, I don't think he has a single player anymore from the previous regime, because maybe Thomas Partey was the last one that left. And he's got his whole squad rebuilt in his image, and they still finished second 3 times in a row. And you know how Arsenal fans are. You're in the UK. There's a bunch of them who already want him out, even though they're top of the league, right? And what we would give to have something like that for ourselves. So my point is, I think they looked at Amorim, all the rumblings that have come out from the summer and all that as well. They were looking at De Zerbi. They offered him the contract, and De Zerbi said he wanted more money, so they said no to him. And then they weren't even looking at Amorim. They had a conversation with him. They were so impressed. They were like, okay, this is a guy we can support and get behind. So your point about there are things he could have done better, I think that is kind of what they looked at and said yes, despite of that. Because I think Amorim is learning as much as anybody else through all of these games. And my hope is that the next time we have a situation like Everton, we play much better, right? That would be evidence of me saying this is the right guy for us to support.
I'm glad
And
you
I
bring
know
up
I know
Arteta.
that's a lot of mistakes that we need to get through to get better,
Yeah,
but unfortunately, that's where we are with this manager. That's what people fail to realize because everybody's like, "Oh, Tuchel would have been better, and this person would have been better." Yeah, their floor may have been higher, but their ceiling would have been lower
yeah,
with Amram. That's my
I
point.
totally agree. And I think it's interesting you mentioned Arteta because I was having this conversation in a Discord server on after the game. Yeah, after the game was talking about Arteta, and I just wrote this comment and said, just having a think. Leicester, Aston Villa, Wolves, and Burnley all beat Arteta's Arsenal at Emirates during his first full season in charge. So he took over in December 2019. Amarim took over in what, November of the season, his first
Yep,
season.
yep,
So I'm talking about the season after that. So he's had a summer window. He's come in. He's started to recruit who he wants. He might not have
yep.
everyone he wants, but he's got
In his
two.
first 18 months, you're saying, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And that season, so 2020, 2021 season, I think it's a pandemic season, they had an awful start. They were bottom of the league and they lost to those teams at home. Leicester, Aston Villa, Wolves, and Burnley. And that was interspersed with losing away at Anfield, away at Etihad, away at White Hart Lane in the North London Derby, and away to Everton at Goodison Park before they moved. So that's the kind of thing that Arsenal had to go through when they had a squad that had massive, massive issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said yourself, the squad
Aubameyang,
then
Ozil, Sanchez,
all of
all
that.
these
Yeah,
people that wanted to play for themselves, that wanted to be like cute players and not really work for the team.
yeah, and it's taken them 5 years, a lot of windows, and a lot of money to get to where
Yep.
they are now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Amarim's not going to get 5 years. We already know he's only going to get three. That's what, right?
Yep.
So with that in mind, it's even more important, I think, that they go and solve the elephant in the room, central midfield, now, whether that's January and this summer or a combination of the two, however many players it needs, they've got big decisions to make. And for me, I look at that now and think, right, Jason Wilcox, this is where
Yep.
you have got to, and Vivell and whoever else involved, Barada, I guess, you have to get this right. Not even looking at Amarim for a second. Just don't even park Ruben Amorim
Mm-hmm.
for a second, because regardless of who the coach is, that problem will still exist. It's existed for 5 managers or 6 managers. So until that's solved, then that could be the difference between a top 8 finish, a top 10 finish, or a top 4, or top 6. So
Yeah.
for me, yeah,
I'll say this. You bring up a good point. For me, we need 2 signings at the very least to make it into top 6. Because right now, based on my projections from the start of the season, I didn't expect Sheshko to get injured this soon, right? It was very reliant. My top 4 to 6 prediction was very reliant on Cunha, Sheshko, and Bumo playing 34 to 36 games, right? And it already looks like Sheshko is not going to do that. So we have other players that we need to basically figure out how we're going to get the goals, how we're going to get certain players to carry us through games, because this is a very lopsided team. This is a team that can barely get us 3 points against Liverpool, a struggling Liverpool side, let's be honest, and can barely get us 3 points against Brighton, because even though we were 3-0 up, you, me, and every fan that was at Old Trafford was probably shaking in their boots when they scored 2 goals in quick succession, right? And we're just a very fragile team right now. That's the problem. Fragile in the sense that physicality hurts us. Fragile in the sense that mental pressure makes us tremble. And away from home looks like the best we can do is get a draw, and at home looks like the worst we can do is a loss like Everton. So that's not a good place to be in, right? So we need 2 players to come in. We desperately need a left wing back that's better than Dorgu. And Dallo can probably dovetail with Ahmad for the right wing back. Mazraoui, I don't want to see him at right wing back anymore. I thought his crossing against both Tottenham and Everton were shocking, like
Yeah.
absolutely shocking. Why is he playing crosses along the ground when they're supposed to be in the air? And don't give me that he can't do it or he's not good enough, because he's definitely good enough. But anyways, Alex, what's your prediction for these next 4 games? How many points?
I think they'll do really, really well. I, I think they'll do well to get any points at Selhurst Park. I mean, if they get a draw, that would be a good result. Um, West Ham at home, if you'd asked me before the Everton game, I would have said 3 points. After this game, I'm kind of looking at it differently. So, in answer to your question, I think I'd probably take 7 points from 4 games.
Okay.
Realistically.
I got dogs abuse for saying that from these 5 games. I don't know if you saw the Stat Patters podcast, but both of us got abuse for it, because they were like, "Oh, what do you mean you don't back the team? How can you predict top 4 when you say we get 7 points from these 5 games?" And my point is, I think this team has the ability to surprise you in the worst way possible, which is we'll go into games like Everton and we will be bad, and I think we'll go to Selhurst Park and we'll actually win. Right. I think that's what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah.
Like Selhurst Park looks like the toughest game, and I would be honest. Honestly, West Ham seems like the second toughest game because Nuno is managing them. It's not really the West Ham that started the season. It's a different West Ham now. Their last few games, they've had very good XG with very low possession. So very much a Nottingham Forest vibe from last season. So and their squad isn't as good enough as good as Forest, so we have a better chance than if he was just managing that Forest team instead. Right. But in this situation, I think Selhurst Park, we're gonna do something crazy, like go win a last minute 3-2 game or a 2-1 game or something like that. Right. Maguire's back from injury, scores a header for us or something crazy like that.
I would happily take a bank robbery in Southeast London. Like I get the feeling that's what it would be.
Let's do it. Okay, Alex, you smashed it, man. Let me get some of the other callers in. Love this discussion. Thank you so much, and please do call in again.
Will do. Thanks a lot.
Hey, Vinny, how you doing?
I was enjoying the conversation, man.
Yeah, for sure. Vinny, just 1 second, guys. Smash a like for Alex, please. We have more than 80 people watching. Please like the stream. Alex, always a great contributor. He's always active on Discord as well. Appreciate the support from Alex, and love the conversation myself as well.
Yeah.
I always like talking tactics, man, and somebody that actually is interested in having a calm discussion about United instead of just saying, I want the manager out. I want all the players out, right? Sell all 25 players. Let's get a new team. Maybe we could do that if we were owned by the Qataris, but not right now. So Vinny, how's it going, man? What's on your mind?
I think that's why we are also here, right? Like there are also other channels whereby you can, follow with those kind of sentiments. So
fair enough.
It says a lot about your channel and your good work as well. So kudos. I mean, I was really enjoying your conversation
like
with
Muhammad
Alex.
Kudus. No, I know you meant kudos. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I was really enjoying your conversation with Alex, but then I was slightly late to the party as I was listening to the 3D podcast.
Oh yeah.
Between you and CMEX. So I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna be late for this one," but then I managed to actually, grab the conversation, and I kind of understood what you guys were discussing. With me, right? I think United's problem is much more compounded, right? Ever since, excuse me, Sir Alex left, and I mean, you'll be only a bit naive not to recognize this. All those big teams that we would want to actually, compare ourselves to. They have had steady progress, right?
Yeah.
Even with City, City had Mancini and then had Pellegrini. And when Guardiola came, he still built up or kind of scrubbed down the squad and built it up again. But that team that Pellegrini left behind was not a bad team at all, right?
Yeah,
it was
when Pep came. Sterling was already there. De Bruyne was already there.
Aguero was
I think
there.
Yaya Toure was on his way out. Aguero was already there.
Yeah.
And okay, the back line he had to change because he had like Zabaleta, he had
Yeah.
Hart, right? I forget his first name.
Joe Hart.
Joe Hart. Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
Josh Hart. That doesn't sound right. But yeah, Joe Hart.
Joe Hart.
Joe
Yeah.
Hart as the goalkeeper. They had Zabaleta. And so he changed his back line. But I think Semix mentioned it in the same podcast that you're just coming from,
Yeah.
which is we sold 12 players, or he sold 12 players and purchased 16. So there
Yeah.
was a total overhaul of 28 players
Yeah.
in that team. And so
Yes.
when you look at Man City, when you look at Arteta, you look at Chelsea. God, how much money have Chelsea spent, right?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
they're doing that for like just fourth or third. They're not even in a title race yet. Maybe
Yeah.
this season they will be, but that's the point, right? They had Cole Palmer, who they purchased for 40 million, now is a 150 million player. And they went and signed Estevao, who they bought for 60 million. Now he looks like a 150 million pound player,
Yeah.
right? So
Definitely.
where's our 150 million pound player? Because Cunha is very good, but he's not 150 million, right? He's
Yeah.
80, 90 million
Yeah.
right now. Maybe if
Yeah.
he does something crazy, he could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you look at Mbumo,
Mm-hmm.
he's our best player, but at best he's 100 million, right?
Yeah.
He's not at that level yet. So we're still a long way to go for
A
us to
long
get,
way. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
long way to go
Yeah.
for us to compete at the top of the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah, and that was what I wanted to actually point out, right? We need to actually back this manager, and I was very happy that Sir Jim actually came to kind of, and shut down all the noises that were going around during that international break. That, hey, I mean, he's not gonna have any knee-jerk reactions in that. Who is this?
Poppy
You're
PK.
not. You're on
Yeah,
time.
he
You're
was
on
there
time.
yesterday. He was there
Okay.
yesterday on the call.
Okay.
He's the 18-year-old supporter
Nice,
from
nice,
UAE. Yeah, the curly
nice,
hair
nice.
on stream yesterday.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right. Nice, nice, puppy. So the point is, we need to back the manager if we like it or not. We have to back the manager, and it's very important. We have to continue point out how time will be needed for us to get back up there, right? We talk about Amorim's system, and we talk about this, we talk about that. One thing that I actually know, one of the learnings that I took from the old podcast was that you cannot teach players how to think.
Yeah. It's hard to do that.
And Andy, look at
It's
our
very
squad.
hard.
Look at our
Yeah.
squad. Let's go through them, right? You can see that even if the ones that have what's the name of it, capabilities or abilities,
Mhm.
they have some kind of limited way of doing things on the pitch. But Bruno Fernandes, I say all of our players are limited when it comes to their quality. I mean, Bruno is a world class player who can thrive in any situation that he will find himself, because he's a risk taker, right? And if you have played football before, you have to be doing those kind of things in order to perfect it. You cannot just do it, over let's say within 3 years or 2 years that you become a good risk taker. No, that it doesn't work like that. You have to do it for long, right, and perfect it. So, um, for
Also,
me,
you have to come into a team where there are already 7, 8 players that can take risks,
thank you.
right? Because if
Yeah,
Dorgu, for example, I agree with what Semi says about Dorgu, where he's not good at risk taking, he's not good at playing the passes into the open space, right? So offensively, he's not there yet in terms of development. But it's not like the players around him, the 3 players around him, like Luke
even
Shaw.
better. They are not.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they're there to set a good standard for him where he also feels comfortable taking the risk. Because,
Mm.
see, the problem is right now, we are in a situation where no matter which player it is, if he gives the ball away, it seems like a massive problem,
Yeah,
right? Whereas
yeah,
in Liverpool, like Trent used to give the ball away. Obviously, he's trying these difficult passes. He's going to give the ball away. For Man City, De Bruyne had like a 75% pass accuracy because
yeah,
he used to try all the difficult passes,
yeah,
right? But the rest of the team is having 95% pass accuracy,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So De Bruyne losing the ball when he's trying those difficult passes, not a big problem. But when Bruno loses it, everybody's like throwing their hands up in the air, like, why are you doing that? Right? Well, somebody's got to take the risk, right?
Exactly.
And we're in a position where the only risk taker in our team, who's Bruno, we like
Yeah.
to criticize him for taking risks. And then we're saying, why doesn't Dorgu take risks?
Yeah.
Right? What do
Yeah.
you expect, guys? Like, we have the captain of our team, who's
I
the
don't know.
best player on the ball.
Yeah.
We also have Casemiro, who's also good with the long passes and progressive passing.
He's way
And
limited.
both of those
Way
guys,
limited. Yeah.
but we criticize them, right, for
Yeah.
whatever they do.
Yeah.
So we have a big problem with the quality. We have a big problem with the risk taking.
Yeah.
We have problem with people understanding his system, and we still want to criticize Ruben Amorim that we want to get rid of him. Here's what's going to happen, right, Vinny? And I'm not saying you're saying this, but let's say we listen to all the Amorim outers and we sack him today. You think the next coach is just going to come in and make us win the league?
Nope.
There's no chance. You
Nope.
look at Thomas Frank at Tottenham, right? When the first 3 games they won, right? I think this season they were 3 wins in 3. People were like, "Oh, we should have just sacked him after the Europa League final and gone and got Thomas Frank," right? Where's Tottenham right now? You tell me.
The funny part is people have started calling out Thomas Frank even after the game against
But I'm
Arsenal.
saying
Yes.
before, after
Yeah.
the first 3 games of the season, when we
Yeah.
had lost to Grimsby and we lost to Arsenal, we drew to Fulham, and then we beat Burnley with a 97th minute penalty. Everybody was coming on Amorim and saying that he's a shit manager. We should have had Thomas Frank instead. But honestly, Thomas Frank is doing garbage at Tottenham. Okay, it's about the players also.
Have you forgotten about the ex Wolves manager Pereira when we lost against Wolves? Have you forgotten about the noises that Sky Sports were making? Yeah, he plays the same system, but he just
Oh yeah,
came.
but yeah, 3 at the back. Yeah.
He's been able to make the players play. I think that was the match where Amorim actually said that, hey, Wolves is actually set up for that. The players that they recruit players based on that philosophy. So if you don't fit in that style of play, they don't recruit you, right? And I think that was much more one of the factors which led us to, us to purchase Cunha, right? Even though he hasn't lighted up yet, we are still waiting for him. And I hope that he can also take these chances that he's on the sideline to also reflect on himself, how he plays, right, in order to function properly. Because we would really need Cunha to step up. The absence of Šeško and Cunha actually gave us a reality check. We now know where we are when it comes to the progression. It gives us a reality check. It was a huge reality check because see, you guys were discussing this with Alice that maybe Amorim could have tweaked this, he could have done that. If I was Amorim, the only option that I saw from Amorim's point of view, which he could have done, was to probably change Mazraoui for Euro, right? Because in my opinion, I think
put him to right
would,
center back. Put him to right center back. Yeah.
He would do a better job at the RCB than being a right wing back. But looking at the bench was, excuse my language, very shit, man. Yeah.
I think you can say worse than that and you still would be excused.
The bench was it wasn't encouraging at all. So for me, I kind of course we were all mad during that time. But then if you do remember during the preview of the match, I told you guys that these are I'm really afraid of Everton. I'm really afraid of Everton. These are the teams who will come to Old Trafford and get a result.
Yeah.
These kind of teams, you need players with exceptional qualities to excel.
Yeah.
You don't need a coach to tell you, move right, move left, do this, do that.
Exactly. Yeah. If people are pretending as if Amorim was like, guys, I want you to play 90 minutes and score 0 goals. You think he said that on his pregame instruction? That's not how it works, right? And I appreciate what everybody's saying because a lot of people are agreeing with what you said, Vinny. And Steve says football is about partnerships and Bumo and Ahmad. And what has Cunha got? Dallo, good grief. No wonder he doesn't play to his potential. Yeah, that's fair. Like that's absolutely fair. But I also, as much as it is about partnerships, every player has it upon themselves to do the right thing when they have the ball. Also, right? Because if you go to Cunha and you tell him, "Hey man, you're doing great. It's Dallo's fault." How does that help Cunha? Right? When you're having a personal, like, Vinny, I don't know what you do in, in your professional life, but every single one of us has a manager that we
Yeah.
have some performance review to give
Yeah,
to,
of course.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you might have employees that work for you as well.
Yeah.
And if you're doing some sort of job that requires, teamwork, right?
Yeah.
Almost every job requires teamwork.
Yeah.
If you call someone in for performance review, let's say, Vinny, that I'm your boss and
Yeah.
I'm calling you in for performance review. I
Mhm.
say, "Oh, actually, Vinny, your work this year wasn't good because Alex wasn't good and Alex stopped you from doing the work." No, that's useless
Yeah.
review for you, right?
Yeah.
For you, I still need to tell you, Vinny, here's what you can do better. Forget
Yeah.
about what Alex is doing bad.
Yeah.
Here's what you can do better. And that's my point with Cunha.
Yeah.
What can Cunha do better? Because I'm gonna make a Cunha video probably today or tomorrow,
Okay.
to talk about the issues we've had with him in the team. And you will see that by watching the clips, like he gets himself surrounded by 4 players and he doesn't release the ball because he's trying to think, how can I beat 4 players?
Mhm.
Whereas what he needs to do is maybe he can beat 3 players, pass the ball, and not wait for the fourth one to come along. Because the flip side to that is, okay, he's getting surrounded by 4 players and he's losing the ball. But if he just waited for 2 players to surround him, now 2 players are out of position,
Yeah.
which means there's space that he can exploit if he passes it into that space. And
Yeah.
we need to tell the Dorgu, we need to tell Xerxes or Sheshko, whoever's playing next to him, to say, you run into that space when Cunha draws the players towards him, right? So it's not just Cunha's problem. The
Yeah.
problems are around him as well. But
Exactly.
Cunha, for me,
Exactly.
needs to
Yeah.
release the ball a
Yeah.
little bit earlier.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
I think
Abhishek, how
you've
you
made
doing, man?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
go
you've
for it.
made an excellent point with Cunha there, because I also have a feeling that the left side of attack or wing back or midfield or whoever plays there is also not giving him the opportunity to take good decisions.
Mm.
With me, right? If I was to be Amorim, I wouldn't have actually tweaked the tactics, because, guys, there is one thing that we need to understand when you want to build up a team. Even Klopp, he built his teams in phases. Klopp used to celebrate, I think, a draw with against West Bromwich Albion at Anfield, because he knew what he wanted to achieve with the squad. Coming back to the tactics, right? We are even at phase one. We saw how appalling United was last season, right? The players could not understand the system. This season, we've been fortunate enough to actually, have a preseason with the squad. We've been fortunate enough to have, 3 good signings. So it's a gradual process, guys. Amorim could not have tweaked any tactics during the game. Let's say move from a 3-back to a 4-back, because the 3-back system that we are currently playing, they are even yet to actually get a grasp of it. It's
Yeah.
very difficult for them to understand. How much more tweak it, from 3 to 4, to make them confused. So the point is, it's not really, it's a 3-back. We have 3 defenders, but then there is a lot of rotations within that
Well,
system.
also the defenders are supposed to be midfielders
They
when
are
we have the ball,
yes,
right? They're
exactly,
supposed to do
exactly.
the progression, and
Yeah,
they're supposed to be ball progressors in possession, and they're supposed to be the muscle, the defensive muscle when we don't have the ball, because
yeah,
he wants them to step into midfield to win the ball, right? To go and win the aerial duels. So it's not a simple system. It takes time to get used to it. And
yeah,
just look at Pep Guardiola, right? His system takes time for players to get used to. He got rid of Zlatan, like he said in the podcast, right?
yeah,
Semik said in the podcast, he got rid of Zlatan, and Zlatan was
yeah,
a baller.
yeah.
Zlatan, even at 35, 36, played well for us when he was there before he got the
We got
injury.
rid of Yaya Toure as well.
He got rid of Yaya Toure, yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah,
he wanted to get rid of Aguero.
yeah,
He wanted to for the longest time.
yeah,
That's why he brought in Gabriel Jesus.
yeah.
But Jesus was a bum compared to Aguero. That was the problem.
Yeah.
But Vinny, you smashed it, man.
Thank you
Let
very
me see. I'll
much.
just get the panel, and maybe I can just keep you on here. Kalyug, how you doing, man? And Robert will add him too, and Rishi's here as well. Kalyug, how you doing?
I'm doing
Welcome to the
well.
stream.
Thank you.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the States.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, we got something like a television set maybe
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
in
I
the
got.
background.
It was Robert. It was Robert. I just muted him. Kalyug, go ahead.
No, like great discussion. I agree with Vinny. The squad that we have, like the bench was horrible. Like as soon as we have like two players injured, like we don't have any depth essentially. And apart from Ahmad, like as I said on Discord, like we don't have a single winger or fullback who can like take on their man. Like Dorgu just can't right now. Maybe it's lack of confidence or like I don't know what's going on with him, but like yeah, he just can't cross the ball first time. He can't
Yeah.
take on his man, go past him. Like we just don't have anyone. That's why like I think like right now, if we can sign just one player in January, I'd go for a wing back. Like midfielder can wait. Like Bruno and Casemiro can do a job for now.
Do you have anyone in mind for wingback?
Semenyo, like pay the 60 million. Like sell Zirkzee to Roma. Like it's fine. Semenyo can play striker. Semenyo can cover for Mbumo as well on the right when he's going to AFCON.
Yeah.
Just get that dude. Like he is crazy hot form right now. Like just get him if we can.
Vinny, has Ghana qualified for the World Cup?
Yeah, we did qualify for the World Cup, but not
Okay,
for the
World
AFCON.
Cup, yeah, not for AFCON. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Andy, I don't know if you can bring back the comment that Abhishek made.
This one or the one before this?
The
This
one before this. Yes.
Yeah.
He makes a very nice comment. This is something that I saw during the game.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Right?
That game reminded me of the Europa League final, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
you said it. Yeah.
Because it was a lot of like moving it sideways, a lot of confusion in terms of why can't we do something with it, and also the biggest similarity for me, Bruno having a crap game. Bruno was worse in the Europa League final than this game, but he was still pretty bad, right? So that's my concern. That I feel like, and last season our team was worse. Like I guess Mbumo was the only player that we have improved that played yesterday.
Yeah.
So that is the other concerning point.
Yeah.
But I agree with what Vinny said a lot earlier, which is yesterday's game showed us how bad we actually are, right? Because if we had even a Jack Grealish starting in that left 10 spot instead of who did we play? We played Ahmad there. Like if Ahmad just played right wing back and we had someone like Jack Grealish or we had Iliman and Jai playing in that spot, I think we would be a lot better off, right? So you're looking at the squad depth coming through, and that's the problem I have. Like people always want a scapegoat, right? They want it to be like a black and white thing where they're like, okay, this is an Amram problem. I don't understand the three at the back. I don't like the fact that we're not winning games. And everybody, as soon as we lose a game, man, everyone comes out with the tweets of only 12 wins in 12 months and all that nonsense, right? Dude, what are we supposed to do? Because if you've not opened your eyes or if you haven't woke up and smelled the coffee yet, we have been bad for so long. Every time we change the manager, we get worse, right? So how do you know that we get rid of Amram and we don't get worse again? That's the concern I have, because what is the alternative to what this is? It can always be worse, guys. As long as you have lived life, I'm 31. I'm not the oldest person here because I know Rishi's older than me. I'm not saying you guys are old.
Screw you, man.
I am old.
Yeah, no, but I know Rishi's age because we're related. But I'm saying my point is, everyone's had their life experiences. You know, it can always get worse. You can go to your worst day and then you'll have another one in a year or two that's worse than that one. So you need to look at it from this perspective. Just calm down, take a break, go off of Twitter. Don't make any friends with Liverpool fans or Arsenal fans. Just have United fans, with you, at least the good ones, and then just chill out. Because listen, does anyone here believe that Amram does anything else in his life other than United and how to fix this team? This dude is obsessed, right? He said, like, there was an interview where he said he wakes up with one alarm at 6 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
Okay, because they interviewed the Premier League managers or something like that. And this guy seems very meticulous. Yeah. He seems like he wants the best for this team. He takes every loss personally. He wants to swear and cuss the players as much as we do. So he's essentially us, but
he has all the attributes, Andy. He has
Exactly.
all the
He's
attributes that I want.
charismatic. We
And
like him. We're defending 12 wins in 12 months. You think we do that for Ten Hag, bro? We wouldn't hold this for Ten Hag. That's the other problem I have with Glasner. Glasner has
yeah,
the charisma of like an actual football.
yeah.
Like I don't know.
And Andy, back on the system, right? The reason why the system is creating a bit of noises whenever we lose is that this is an alien system to the English football. The English football is only used to the five back, which is also a bit more alien for them. But then they are more, conservatives, right? They want to stay with the four back. So
Yeah.
whenever you come with something new, it becomes a bit difficult for them to accept.
Bro, the
So
4-3-3 was like a revolution for them because they were
yeah,
like, "Oh, I'm only used to 4-2-3-1 or four four
yeah,
two." Right?
exactly,
The 4-3-3,
exactly,
Pep's 4 3
exactly.
3 was like, "Oh my god, this guy's doing some sorcery here."
Guys, those people who actually watched Sir Alex Ferguson, United used to struggle a lot in Europe in his 26-year tenure at United because we were of a 4-2-2 team, whilst during that era, football was moving from the 4-2-2 to a 4-3-3,
Yeah.
right? And now football is moving from the tiki-taka to more of a direct football. Look at the signings that Pep Guardiola has made. He's made only players who are transitional players. Look at Omar Mamouche. If you saw him play for Frankfurt, the guy is a transitional
Yeah, yeah,
player.
transitional
Not to
player.
not
Even
to talk
even
about
Reinders.
Tijani Reinders,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Dutch guy, very good transitional midfielder, right? Look at Ais Nouri, the left back. Is he a left wing back or a left back? He functions properly at a left wing back. So Pep wants to do something.
Somebody we wanted to sign, by the way. We were also
Exactly.
linked to Inuri, yeah.
And guys, one thing that you guys are also failing to recognize is Pep is sometimes playing three back in disguise
He
because
played
he's
a no,
playing.
no. He actually, if you go to FOPMob and look at his formations, he played a 3-2-4-1 a lot last season. 3-2-4-1 was what he played, right? Not really a 3-4-2-1, but a 3-2-4-1. He played
Exactly.
that a lot, but he just
Yes,
didn't play it every single game. So people are
exactly.
not realizing that. Also, Liverpool want to go to a 3-5-2. That's
No,
what
the
the
point
rumors
is
are.
they realize that, but it's because it's Pep.
Yeah.
It's Pep, it's accepted. It's Amorim. What has Amorim proved in football to actually come to the greatest club in UK to play a three back?
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything to deserve that. So that is more of the idea, right? And I'm glad that the new way of football media, like the YouTube, um, you are here. I will use myself as an example, guys. I was also much more against Amorim when he was coming because I never liked the three back system until I met a video from Semix and also, got to know a guy from Sporting Lisbon who perfectly explained Amorim's tactics,
Yeah.
how he managed to actually make Sporting also a championship winning team. Because guys, Sporting Lisbon, their supporters used to go to the training ground to beat the players up. It took Amorim to actually bring this club back to where it
Yeah.
is or it was
and
before
and
he
and
left.
it's gonna take time, right? So we need to
Exactly.
be patient, and I appreciate
Exactly.
that, Vinny. Kalyug,
Mhm.
let's get a little teaser
Yeah.
for your take for the debate tomorrow, because
Mhm.
we're gonna have Kalyug, and was it Sean? Sean, are you still watching, bro?
Yeah, he sent a
Who
comment
was it?
actually.
Who
Sean
was
sent a
it
comment.
that wanted to debate you, Kalyug? Was
I
it
think it
Sean?
was Nelson who was
Oh, it's
talking
Nelson,
about,
of
yeah.
course. For Nelson, are you here, bro? Blink twice, please. I need to see what else you got going on, because I need to hear from Nelson to see that he's okay, because he's always sitting in his living room doing the air traffic control. Hopefully the planes are not overloaded today. But yeah, okay. So you wanted to debate Nelson. What was the take you guys were talking about? I'm trying to find it here.
I think it was around like this squad is not gonna finish top four with Amorim. Like Amorim is the problem. Like without him, they can finish top four. And like my only point to that is like what Jose said when he was here. Even though I like didn't like him at that point, but like the football heritage thing that he said. Like when Amorim joined this club, if I look at like the 6 game XG rolling chart, our club was a mess. Like it was like, I think the highest difference I've ever seen between XG conceded and like XG created under
Mhm.
Ten Hag. Like I still can't believe that our team looked at that chart and still kept him after that FA Cup. Like that was the most horrible decision any board could have taken.
Mm.
Like, that I think, let me like quickly.
Do you think they did
I
that
think
more for more to make sure that the fans don't lose faith in
yeah.
them than anything else? Because I
Yeah.
think everything in their heart and soul was telling them not to do it, but they decided that maybe the 10 million or 12 million payoff is worth it to get the fans on our side.
Probably. And plus, like the FA Cup kind of like papered over the cracks because like we were a bottom half team that season. Like if I look at
Yeah.
like the expected points and everything, we
No,
should
no,
have
I've
been
seen
in.
it. I've seen it. I've seen it. We were bad. We were bad in terms of XG. Even the first year, where we finished third, we weren't creating a lot of chances. We were scraping by. There's a lot of games we won by 1 goal margin. So I agree with you. That's a good point. And I appreciate that. See, there's more people. It makes me feel good that somebody like you can come here and talk about stats, because that means at least I have an audience out there and I can make more videos talking about the underlying stats and somebody will appreciate it. So that's awesome. Where are you from, by the way? I see your NYU hoodie.
So I used to live in New York, but now I'm in Arlington near DC.
Nice. Is that what you did then, data science?
Yes.
Right. Makes
That's
sense.
why I love the stats part of it. And I love the videos that you create around them as well. Like it's really nice to see that underlying supports or like whatever we think
Yeah,
we see on
exactly.
the
What is it
pitch.
talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I spoke to a Liverpool fan and he was
Mhm.
like, I mentioned this a few days back. I don't know if you saw it, but
Yeah.
essentially at the gym near my house, he was like so passionate. He's like, no, Arne Slot is the guy. Like, you guys weren't saying anything when we were winning the game. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I made a top four prediction video, and in my prediction, Liverpool was below United on expected points. Right, because their underlying numbers have been so crap this season, it's beyond belief. But anyways, we're not here to talk about Slot. Vinny knows more about Slot than I do, so he can sit there and debate it. But Kalyu, you tell me,
Mhm.
what do you think? You said we should sign a wing back, correct?
If we can only sign one player in January, like if we can sign multiple, then by all means, like a wing back and a midfielder. But I think we need someone apart from Ahmad as a wing back. Like we can't just rely on one guy on the
Who
wide
is
areas.
okay? Let me ask you an interesting question. Right, this is a
Yes.
thought exercise
Mhm.
for everybody in the comments as well. If we could sign Semenyo and Njai, but we had to let go of Ahmad, would you do it?
We cannot sign in Jai
No.
for
I'm just
starters.
it's a
Okay.
hypothetical. It's a hypothetical. If we could sign Njai and Semenyo, but we had to sell Ahmad, would you do it?
Oh.
Probably not. I think I'll keep Ahmad and sign one of the two. And if I have the option, NDI over Semenyo.
Yeah. I hate to do this, but I agree with Sean here because I would sell Ahmad. I would get Njai and Semenyo because I think Njai. I personally think this is a very hot take, dude. This is Sean. Can you stop stealing the stuff out of my mouth, bro? Come on. So at
Did you
wing
guys
back,
discuss before this?
no, we didn't. No, we didn't. He's just being a dick. He's trying to steal the thunder here. But my point is, our wingbacks are actually the wingers. They're the ones hugging the touchline, and for hugging the touchline and creating play out of there. And Mbumo is a better player than Ahmad. I mean, that's not. I'm not saying something crazy there. And Mbumo's much better at both 10 and the wingback position than Ahmad would be. And Mbumo is very good at doing the defensive work. In fact, he's more physical than Ahmad is, even though he's slightly shorter than him. And in my opinion, Mbumo would work very well at the right wing back. And Njai, from what we saw from him in the Everton game, he's got that low center of gravity where he can receive the ball, turn, and do something with it very well. It's never going to happen where we get both of them and we let Ahmad go, because we have to keep some good players in the team. Like, that's how you build a team, right? But in my opinion, I would love that. I think I would, in a heartbeat, I would swap Semenyo and Njai for if we had to let Ahmad go. Obviously, if we can keep all three, then hallelujah. Like, why am I complaining? But that would be my ideal thing, because in the 10, we need somebody who can drop deep and do a defensive work from the inside half space. and Njai would be really good for that. Because surprise, guys, Iliman Njai is number 5 in the league for duels one. Before at game week 11, he's number 5, so he's a very physical player. And that's why I think it would be good. But this is not for me to shit on your take, Kalyu. I was just asking you like what your opinion.
No,
Andy, I have a
that's
question for you over
I
here.
have one shout out. I
I
have
have a
one shout
question
out.
for you, Andy, and my
Yeah,
question is
let's
that
just
if
hear from
you
Rishi. Yeah, go for it.
are you weighing them up in the 10 role, or are you looking at them at the wing back role when you're talking about Ahmad and Mbumo, or you're talking about Semenyo and NDI? Where are you
I
looking at Ahmad?
I
Like
guess
where you
so.
weighing them against Ahmad?
So Ahmad for me can only play in the right wing back in the system.
So you're looking at NDI or Semenyo and
No,
how they can play at
no,
wing back, right?
no, I'm not
Can I add in
because what
something?
I explained, right? What I said is I think for me, Ahmad can only play in the right wing back. So we're paying 150,000 pounds a week for someone who can only play one position. Because in the 10, I don't see him working very well. In my opinion, if Njai comes in, we can move Mbumo to the right wing back and then play Njai in the right 10 and play Semenyo as any one of the front 5 positions.
See, the problem with the way that question has been framed is that you're saying that Ahmad can only play one position, but the
Yeah.
other people you're talking about are not even good at the position that he's playing right now.
Yeah.
Because I did this sort of comparison. What do we need from that white player? We need someone who can put in crosses, right? So if I look at any other fullback in the Premier League, I saw the episode that you did with Semix today, the Three Devils episode, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I thought that was the best hour of football analysis on YouTube today, and I'm including this is the rest is football or whatever the crap Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville put out. Uh, it was fantastic, and when I was hearing the role of the wingers in this, the wingbacks in this system, I just instinctively felt like I need to go and look at a standard heavy crossing fullback in the Premier League. And in my mind, that was Pedro Porro because he's also played for Amorim in Sporting. So I have the numbers over here. Pedro Porro puts in 6.88 crosses per 90. He attempts 6.88 crosses per 90. That's the 95th percentile among fullbacks. Okay, 40% of his long passes are successful. Let's assume that half of that success rate is for crosses, like half of them are crosses. So let's say that Porro is making 1.4 successful crosses per 90. Out of them, 0.85 successful crosses into the penalty area, which means that he's creating one very good chance almost per game for the forward in the box,
Yeah.
right? Now that's in the 92nd percentile. Now let me compare that with Ahmad. Ahmad is attempting 2.08 crosses per 90. That's less than a third of what Poro is doing. He's in the 30th percentile. Dalo is attempting 2.53. That's 44th percentile. Torgu is attempting 3.16. That's 57th percentile. Mazraoui is attempting 0.94. That's in the 8th percentile, right? So that's how terrible our wide players are at putting in crosses. And we've all agreed that this system, Amorim system, requires a heavy volume crosser who can pass with at least some sort of accuracy. So the truth is, we don't even have any crosser that can play this system. Like even Ahmad, right? He's doing a good job because he has other traits. He has a chemistry with Mbumo. He can do a close link-up play. He can press the player high, right, with out of possession. So these are good traits that he has. But again, like you said, he's a player that is good in one position. Now look at Semenyo. A lot of people are saying, let's put Semenyo at wing back. Semenyo is putting 1.2 crosses per 90. That's like in the 20th percentile. That's even worse than any of these other players. By the way, interesting thought exercise here. If Dalo is putting in 2.53 crosses with his weak foot, imagine if he plays right wing back. I'm pretty sure he puts in at least one more cross per 90. And he might be a more suitable right wing back for a stereotypical Amorim system. So, like, I think it's an interesting thought exercise. Would you take Ndia and Semenyo over? Yes, as a squad, as a person who's taking up a place in the squad, I would absolutely take any of these two over Ahmad. And but then also I would get a right wing back to play that position, because by replacing these Ahmad with these guys, I've not really gotten a right wing back. I've gotten a 10. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That it's an interesting thought exercise.
No, Rishi, that's it's a great point. And guys, since you mentioned the podcast, please go check it out if you haven't seen it already. I personally thought it was our best episode yet because of the tactical discussions that we got into, which is the meat and potatoes of what's wrong with the team. Because I agree, crosses are a big requirement for the team.
Also,
But Rishi, if I may mention this, right? Injai is 25 years old. Semenyo is 24, 25, something like that.
Same, yeah.
I
26.
am fairly certain if we wanted these players to cross the ball, they could cross it. But my problem with Ahmad is I don't think even if we want him to cross it, he can necessarily cross it. Because he doesn't like to use his right foot at all. And Mbumo is a bet. Would you agree Mbumo is a better crosser when he cuts inside from the right hand side to put the cross in? Because he's
Yeah,
already
yeah,
got an
yeah,
assist
but
by doing that.
I agree, Andy. But I'm just saying, with respect to the question you posed, you're looking at replacing Ahmad with these two players who are in the 10. I'm
guys,
very happy to do that. Go ahead and do that. But bring in a right wing back to play the position that Ahmad is vacating. That's all I'm saying. Also,
Yeah.
you look at Poro, who I would absolutely love Poro at right wing back in this system. Right? He would do a crazy job for us. Poro is putting in almost 7 crosses per 90. You're looking at Semenyo who's putting in 1.2. You can't expect him to go 6x on his crosses, right? Because that's a skill he's not really practiced in the last 2 or 3 years. So even you look at his long passing numbers, they're not that impressive because he's a forward. He's not expected to put in long crosses, long passes or crosses. So that's all I'm saying. Like this whole conversation that dominated the last 2 weeks, right? That people are saying, I think Semenyo can do a job at left wing back. He can't and he shouldn't. I
No,
think you
he's
should
not
get
a
him
wing
in.
back. He's not a wing back.
Yeah, you should get him in to play because we have three good players who can play in the forward three positions. You have Mbomo, you have Konya, and you have Sheshko. Get in a fourth quality player, put pressure on those three guys. That's
Yes,
all I'm saying.
exactly.
Mount is not putting
So
pressure from the
yes,
hospital bed.
so what I want to add to your point, Rishi, and that's a very great point, by the way, is we can actually equate Ahmad to somebody like Martinelli. They are not your title winning players, right? You will need a competition to get the best out of them. Because
Yeah,
if Man United wants to win the championship or we want to win the league, right, we cannot solely rely on Ahmad being our right wing back,
yeah,
right? So we would have to
yeah,
go on the market, bring on somebody, and then give him a much more competition. Again, on the
right.
left wing back, there is one player that people are not really having a look at. There is one guy from Fulham,
Anthony
Robinson.
Robinson,
Robinson,
but
Yes.
yeah.
he's injured. He's injury prone, and he's also
Oh,
29 years old,
okay,
if I'm not wrong.
okay. No,
I
but
I
then
like the shout. I would have taken him a couple of years back.
yeah, but then it's just to patch out, right? I didn't know that he was injured, but then looking at the problems that we are having at our left wing back or at our left
Can
side,
I give a shout, Vinny, for
yeah,
left
go
wing
ahead.
back? Sorry to
Yeah,
cut you off.
no, it's fine.
Rishi and I have been talking about this guy for a while. It's David Raum from RB Leipzig, right?
Oh, David Ram, yeah.
He has, speaking of crosses per 90, he
Andy,
has
dude,
9.29 crosses per 90.
don't sell us
Right?
dreams, bro. We also
This
agreed
guy's
that
in the
he's comfortable
99th
in the
percentile.
Bundesliga. We
Yeah, yeah.
also agreed he's comfortable in the Bundesliga.
And
He's
he's
captain
also
of the
making
team. He's
150. He's also making 150,000 euros already.
yeah.
But he's
also, to
27
add on
years
that,
old.
So don't sell us these dreams, man. Come on, don't take names
I'm
that
just
that
telling you,
won't
we're
come true.
talking about crosses per 90, like it's a shout, right? David Raum's a
Andy,
shout. Also, another player is Maximilian Mittelstadt. He would also be very good. He plays for Stuttgart. And let me
Yeah,
see his crosses per 90 as well. There's also Ridley Baku, who plays for Leipzig, formerly of
Yeah,
Wolfsburg.
Baku is a right
Uh,
back, right?
dude,
this
I
is
would take
this
Nusa. I think Nusa would do a great job at left wing back.
Anthony
Let's look at.
Nusa. Is that his name?
Yeah. Anthony Nusa.
So the problem that I have with the Bundesliga players is their performances, right? That they've been churning out when they come to the EPL.
Look at how happy Roberto is, guys, by the David Raum shout. Look at his face. I love
There's
it.
a guy called Nathaniel Brown in Frankfurt. He's very young, like 21, 22. But I
Yeah,
think,
but they're quoting 65 mil, man. They're quoting 65
yeah,
mil for him.
it's going to be an expensive buy, but like he reminds me a lot of like Ashley Cole, like in terms of like
Guys,
how much he goes up
players
and
from
down.
Bundesliga, I've seen enough, man. I've really seen enough from the Bundesliga.
guys,
We have had good
also
cases.
something
Robert, what do you have to say? Go on.
Well, what I'm saying is also something that I really have a problem with Dogu is that he might receive the ball from, let's say, Luke Shaw, maybe even Bro, and there is that space where he can do what you guys remember what Bale used to do when he was playing on the left side, where he just hits the ball in front of him and runs to the ball because of how fast he is and how
Yeah.
physical he can be against a player. For me, Dogu can do that. In that Everton game, there were instances where Dogu could do that. And if you have a player who is willing to do that, it's not about somebody who is going to beat his man 1v1. For me, I think it's somebody who is going to take that chance and hit that ball long, knowing that he has the pace, and Dogu has the pace. But I don't understand why Dogu does not do that yet. For me, I think he can do that, and he would be really good at it because of how physical and fast he is. And that's why I think even Raum could do a very good job, because I am all for Raum. I've signed that guy a bunch of times in career mode, and he has always been good for me.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Listen, my
man.
ball knowledge, like half of my ball knowledge comes from FIFA, so nobody's gonna shit on FIFA knowledge in this stream. Okay, we respect the FIFA knowledge, because that's true. A lot of these players, like David Raum, he's always a good starter card on FIFA, because he's got good pace and he can play left back. But there's some other names too. There's Anthony Kaki. I don't know how you say his name. He plays for Mainz. He's also, a decent shot. He's 28. But listen, at this point, if we want our Dorgu, we're in this weird position where if we want our Dorgu money to come good, we need to sign somebody that can, improve his value by teaching him how to play that position. And that is not Diogo Dallo, unfortunately. But Nelson, how are you doing, man? Do we have your blood boiling yet?
I am boiling here because I'm listening to arguments and I'm going.
You gotta fix your AC, bro. Like, what's going on?
Is what AC loud?
No.
Because you're boiling,
no,
bro.
I was wondering.
Because you're
sorry.
boiling.
No, because it's warm today, right? And it's actually warm
it is.
for the
Like
first
10
time.
degrees.
Yeah, that's crazy warm for us now. To be honest with you guys, I hear the crossing argument. I actually thought you made a good point in Semex's video in the podcast where you said crosses are a bad metric, or they tend to be bad
Low percentage
passes.
pass.
Low
Yeah,
percentage
pass.
passes. But those, I think, are the old school crosses, like deep line crosses to strikers. Whenever you look at key passes, most of them are usually cutback passes where winger or fullback gets to the byline and then crosses it back in. Usually, Kyle Walker was amazing at those. I think we don't create those kinds of chances, and that's why when I looked at David Raum, and all of his crosses are byline, every single one, like a majority of them are.
So
if
you
we're
like the
bringing in-
David Raum shout?
No, that means we adjust how we play then, because our players don't do that.
No,
So
but we don't do
But
that because we
haven't
don't have
done
the
that
skill
for the
set.
last 10 years. That's the thing.
We also don't
Historically,
have
we
the
haven't
skill
done
set.
that.
Yeah.
Andy and I, sorry to cut you off, but just to give some context on this, Andy and I spoke about this in Solskjaer's last season. Basically, we at that point we took around 14.5 shots per game, whereas City took 22 shots per game, right? And from the 6-yard box, we took almost 0 shots per game, and City took 2 shots per game. Why was that happening? Because they had a winger who would go like a Sane or a Sterling, would get to the byline and he would cut the ball across. Like even a Foden would do that. There were 5 or 6 players in the City team who could get to the byline and cut the ball across the face of goal. So historically, we've not done that. It's not just this. Like we haven't built a squad with the profile of players that we want. Right? We haven't had like a culture of squad building. We haven't had a philosophy that we were building towards. Like even Rangnick came in and he said concept, competence, and capital. Those were the 3 C's. We never had that concept.
But
So that's why the other 2 C's didn't follow.
Rishi, I hear you. If the argument is we haven't built a good squad, I'm with you. You're preaching to the choir here. I totally agree with you.
Wait, this is the same guy that said we have a squad for top 4 this season.
No, but I do think we have a squad for top 4, but not playing this. And here's what people might get lost on. I think Amram is good enough to get us to even win a league. The players he requires to win that league are monsters in every single position. Because if you look at the 3-back system, every team that's performed well with the 3-back system have had exceptional center backs, exceptional midfielders, exceptional wing backs. We lack in every single one of those positions. And that's why when I look at this team, I go, this would take a monumental recruitment strategy to get there.
Yeah, so he needs the checkbook that Pep Guardiola got at City.
Exactly.
is what
I
you're saying.
agree. I
'Cause
agree.
City is also a very, or Pep rather, people. I heard Goldbridge say this where he was like, "Oh, Pep deserves credit for rebuilding a team because he's never done it, bro." This is the first time he's getting to spend all the money for a full rebuild. That's why he's staying around for the rebuild. You think Bayern would have let him spend this much money?
No.
Barcelona didn't have that kind of money. As soon as he saw like Xavi and Iniesta were on the decline, he was like, peace. That's why he only stayed there for 3 years. Right.
Exactly.
And then he moved on to Bayern. And so I'm telling you, we can't give him credit for rebuilding the team like Sir Alex rebuilt the team, because that's not what he's doing.
Actually, what Pep is going through right now showcases how good Ferguson was at rebuilding.
Exactly.
Teams. It actually shows it's a massive skill to future plan the squad to go, okay, I need these kinds of players to play that's going to win in 2 years. Now, this is what, when I said even with 2 midfielders we don't get it, it's because the 2 midfielders we need, I don't think we're going to get. That's my concern. Is I have a feeling we're going to get like
who are the 2 midfielders?
My argument was we get Wharton, one of them, and to be honest, if we're trying to get the lead, trying to win a league, we would need someone like a Camavinga. We would need a Camavinga in the other role, someone who does everything exceptionally.
Yeah,
because that's if we're saying we get Wharton and Baleba's a project. It's going to take another 2 years until he actually gets to become a
same
good
like
player.
Dorgu. I think his progression is somewhere around where Dorgu. He's probably a little bit better than Dorgu right now, in his own position. I love the Camavinga shot, dude. You notice I didn't immediately shut you down there.
Yeah.
It's an amazing shot, but the problem is the injury record.
True, but I think I'm saying if the argument is in the next season.
But the profile, I agree with the profile.
Yeah,
I agree with the profile.
And my concern is if he doesn't win, if we don't get into top 4, I know reports are saying top 6. Ratcliffe said at the beginning, this is a top 4 team. And I really think that's a metric they're going with. I don't think they'll fire him if he finishes 6th, but I don't think they renew his contract. Because when you look at like
no, I disagree with that. If he finishes 6th with this team, if we get Europa League, I think they're extending his contract.
You think so?
Yeah, top 4 is too high.
You can't let the coach get into the final year of his contract without extending his contract, because that creates instability.
No, but that's what Nelson is saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Essentially, they're going to let go of him. Is what he's
saying.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll be stupid to let go of him, because they've seen what happens, and he's spoken about it is Arteta. Sometimes it makes me think that he wishes he owned Arsenal rather than United, because all he speaks about it as Arteta, how much time they've given him. That's how you go about a rebuild. So he's aware when he says those things that I'm expected to buy this man an entire squad's worth of players. But he's also saying that, bro, meet me halfway. Like, show me what you can do. You can't finish 10th this season and then expect me to back you, because then people are going to laugh at us.
And that's going to be a 9 position improvement from last year. I know.
Correct.
I know it's like we were 15th, which is the reason why it's a 9 position. It's not he's going from 10th to second or 9th to first. He's going from 15th to go for it, Robert.
Oh, to add on that point of him finishing with that 9 places improvement, for me, the reason I think we finished 15th last season is because of the focus we had on the Europa League. Because I don't think any United fan is looking at that squad in the 24-25 season. And if there is, then I don't know. But for me, ever since I finished high school in that 23-24 season, and I looked at the underlying stats way before even people started showing these stats.
I'm sorry, did you say you finished high school in the 23-24 season?
Robert's young. Jesus.
Yes.
Bro, I'm young. I would have guessed your age was like 50, bro. Jeez.
Why? Why?
Your voice just
Because of your
seems very
voice.
mature. Yeah.
I'm 19 actually. I'm
What?
19.
God
I'm the
damn!
same age
Bro.
as Papi Piki. I'm the same age as Papi Piki.
You sound like you could be his dad.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
Or
sound
his-
like you could be his puppy.
Yes. No way, bro.
Um,
Even it's not even the voice. It's the choice of words and all that. It just seems a lot more mature. Like I look like a baby in front of your voice. Like you know what I'm saying?
Robert, these guys are saying you've lived a rough life. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
No,
But
I'm
I actually thought he was older. I thought you sounded older. I thought
I
you
was
were
going to call you
High
sir.
school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you were late 20s. I didn't think you were 19. But
See,
wow.
I've actually
This
not
is
the
your
first
Kenyan
guy
brother,
to-
bro. Nelson, why don't
Yeah.
you sound like him, bro? What the hell?
I don't know, man. I clearly didn't go. I finished high school a
Actually-
long time ago.
Actually, guys, fun fact. You're not the first guys to tell me I sound mature. I sound
Well, Nelson's still getting schooled on this channel though, so
Yeah.
you know.
So yeah, school doesn't end. School doesn't end.
No, Robert,
Okay.
I'm not joking. You sound like you could be president of Kenya, bro. Like that's your voice is so mature, and that's a compliment. I'm not saying that as like some other way. But anyways, continue. You finished high school 2 years ago. Okay, continue.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, I remember I didn't watch much of football in Ten Hag's 2 seasons, especially that 2023 season. I only watched a few games there.
You didn't miss
And-
much, bro.
And when it came to me finishing high school and watching that 23-24 season, at least half of it, I was like, this team needs a proper rebuild. And I remember I watched that West Ham game where we lost in the London Stadium, where I think it's Garnacho. Garnacho's missing chance after chance. And I said, if I receive an offer for Bruno Fernandes this summer, I am selling this guy. This team needs a proper rebuild. And since after looking at that team, and I also saw that the team was supposed to finish, is it 8th in his first season or maybe 5th, not that bad. And then
Yeah.
in his second season, we're actually supposed to finish 12th instead of 8th, right? I don't.
Yeah. You're talking about the expected points. Yeah, I agree.
Right.
The first season we overperformed massively. Second season overperformed massively. Third season we were kind of performing as expected, and then they fired him. And then we did worse than that under Amram, and that's what all the Amram outers say, which is like we should have just kept Ten Hag, or we should bring Ollie back. All of these other managers were underperforming or overperforming their underlying numbers, whereas Amram is the first one to actually underperform his numbers in a good way.
But
Right.
I thought most good managers actually overperform their numbers.
No, but the overperformance has to come with the underlying numbers being decent and then overperforming, not
Yes,
from
yes.
like shit underlying numbers to come to like a decent
Mm.
position, right? That's the difference. So you need to decide what the floor is for where the underlying numbers should be, and then overperform from there.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, if I look at this team, the reason this team finished 15th is, I think Amorim sat down with his squad and was like, I'm looking at these players, and if you want to get into Europe, the only way we can get to Europe with a one-way ticket is by winning a cup, or maybe even better, it's by winning a Europa League title. Because in last season, looking at the kind of squad we had and looking at the teams which were above us, there's no way we would have finished above Brighton, right?
Mhm.
There's no way we would have finished above Bournemouth with the way they were playing, with that crop of players. For me, there's no way we would have finished above Aston Villa and Newcastle. So at best, the best position we would have finished last season for me was ninth, and Amorim finished 15th, because if you had decided to let go of the Europa League and be like, let's deal with the league first of all so that you can have an easier season next season, we would have finished at best 9th. And that is with the
See,
kind
bro,
of
even the way you talk, I need to see a birth certificate, man. Come on. There's no way you're 19. Like, this is too intelligent for 19. Even Poppy, like, he sounds more intelligent for 19, but I've seen his face. So I believe that he's 18. But like, bro, that's an amazing point, because what he's essentially saying is if we finish 6th this year, it's technically a 3-position improvement, right? It's not actually a 9-position improvement because we should have finished 9th or 10th, not 15th. And that is a fantastic point, honestly. This isn't something I've articulated as nicely as you have before this, but I can see it 100%. This is something I would say on one of my videos. So I appreciate you, Robert. That's like a fantastic point.
But
So taking that into account, and then you factor in the fact that he focused on the Europa League, and he also himself said the goal is also to make Europe because we need money to sign players. Because he also said, I cannot change 22 players in a team. So he knew the kind of team he was coming into. And that's why he also wanted to come next season. So I think a lot of people are giving Amorim a lot of slack because of finishing 15. They're not factoring each and every single factor that is supposed to be factored in that previous season. You're not taking into account that that team finished 8th. And then you signed, which players did you sign? Mazraoui, Delete, Zagzi, Ugarte. And of those 4 players, the only one who was seemingly promising was Mazraoui. And they were at points where he got injured. No, Delete was injured. There were points in the season where Delete was injured. You get me now?
He was.
That's why I'm not factoring him. And Ugarte was
Robert.
Ugarte. Yes.
Yeah, where are you from in Kenya, bro?
I'm from.
Is it Nairobi?
Okay. No, it's Kiambu County. It's just adjacent to Nairobi.
It's close to
Nairobi. Very nice.
Typically,
very nice,
I'm in Nairobi because it's.
Bro, I can't believe you have a better grasp on United and Amorim than freaking all of these pundits in UK that get paid tons of money to say crap about United. Like you have summed it up so well because people want overnight success. They don't want to see the process. They don't want to see things changing in the background, right? They want to be black or white. They want to say, oh, we're crap or we're great. And that's a bit of the problem that Liverpool fans are having with Slot. They can't put it together that the manager who won them the league in the first year could be so shit, right? And we can't put it together that the manager who finished at 15th with us could be so good, right? So
Yes,
we have two sides of the same coin at these two clubs, and both clubs would be wrong to sack the manager right now, and that's the truth.
And also to add on that Everton game, I think the Everton game performance is actually being thrown out of proportion. It is not as bad as people are seemingly making it because these performances began at that Forest game. And you look at the Forest game, it was just very poor. For me, as I was watching the game, I was like, these guys are always a yard off. And then what happened in the Tottenham game? They carried it through into the Tottenham game, even though we still drew. And there's this one thing I normally tell my friends, that your results will always catch up with your performances. And what has happened? Our result has caught up with our performance because we lost. And that is what was supposed to happen.
Robert,
you were supposed to lose.
Robert, can I do a counterpoint here? Because I completely disagree with your Everton stake. We didn't lose to an Everton team. We got humiliated by that Everton team. They went 10 men down. They went 1 man down in 30 minutes into the game. And we did.
Oh, wait. 13.
13 minutes into the game.
Yes.
So we had enough time to even draw the game. I'm not even saying win. We had enough time to draw. And if you rewatch that game, we didn't look at all. And one of the reasons I struggle a lot with Amorim is I am not necessarily Amorim out because of how people say the system and all that stuff. I think the system can work if you get the right players. My issue is his hard-headedness will end up becoming an issue.
Okay, so that is where I'll tell you, Nelson. Okay, let me tell you one thing. You go and look at that Forest game. You go and look at the Tottenham game. I haven't sat down and watched those games because I normally watch the games at times when I have the time. And if I sit down and I rewatch those 2 games, and I also rewatch the Everton game, I bet you top dollar the same mistakes which happened in the Everton game are still the same mistakes which happened in that Forest game. Because you look at the Forest game, we conceded 2 goals in 5 minutes, right? That's a thing. We conceded 2 goals in 5 minutes. How does a team concede 2 goals in 5 minutes? Then it does not change in the next game. What happens? They concede 2 goals in 8 minutes. right?
But I
Then in
think
that game, let me just finish.
Yeah.
Finish.
Finish.
Then in that game, what happens? The team goes, your opponents go one man down, and instead of these guys picking the slack up and performing, even the commentator said the team looked as if it was shocked. What do? They start playing atrociously. They just become as if they are strangers on the pitch. So it shows that this was coming from a mile. If you watch football and just as I've said, your results catch up with your performances. You'll see what
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I think. What I
Wait.
perceive from Robert's points. Yeah.
Can I just really need to respond to all of these things.
Sure. Go for it.
And Robert's my brother.
He's gonna put out a press conference.
Robert and I are brothers here, so I have to respond to. Listen, Robert. Like, if you actually, what you just said is actually an indictment on Amorim, because we like talking underlying stats. Let's talk underlying stats. Every time we go down, we are I think the second worst team from a losing position. So that hasn't been fixed.
We've lost all 4 games. We've lost all 4 games.
Correct.
And we went down.
And by the way, that stat is still from his first. We don't like talking about last season, but if you look at last season, it's the same issue. When we go a goal down, we struggle. We don't win. We don't come back and win games. That's the first thing. So secondly, you did say something. Nottingham Forest, Tottenham, and Everton, we've all struggled against those teams. But we could see it a mile away because we've seen teams that match us physically, even last season, and we had a Grimsby game that we saw it. When teams match us up physically, we really struggle. That's not like a blueprint. Andy actually spoke about this, and I agreed with him. Teams that attack us fairly well, we actually know how to bypass that very quickly. But when we're playing low blocks, that means when you're trying to win the second ball, the defensive midfielder is closer to our attacking midfielders every single time. So that second ball, you don't have enough time to get it to do those quick interchanges. So the reason why Crystal Palace, I think, is going to be a bad game is because they will do the exact same shenanigans that Nottingham Forest, Tottenham, and Everton have done.
But Nelson, can I just say something about this whole breaking down the low block thing, right?
Yeah.
As much as I've heard from people talking about Sir Alex, from people talking about Jose Mourinho, from Arsene Wenger, all of these top coaches of the past years, we haven't heard as much from the current coaches because obviously they probably don't want to talk about it as much. But I imagine most coaches do most of their coaching work in the defensive third and the middle third. The attacking third, all of the players that have played for these coaches, they said they kind of let us do our thing, right? Because the creativity in the final third needs to come from the players. So and it's also the hardest thing in the world to do. I would say Pep Guardiola is probably the only coach that drills down like, this is exactly where I want you to be. This is exactly how I want you to pass. And that's also why a very small section of players can fit a Pep Guardiola system, right? So my point is, if we're struggling to break down a low block, but we're looking good against teams that press us, that tells me the things that are good about us are are working because of the system. And the things that are bad about us are because the players are not able to do the basics right. Like, we were so bad at putting in the crosses to create any space against Everton. Every single cross was hitting the wrong person or the Everton player or going into Pickford's hand. The 2 crosses we put in well, Xerxes was able to get them on target with 2 saves that Pickford had to make, right? So I'm not absolving Amorim of the blame. I don't think you're saying that it's all Amorim's fault either.
No.
My point is just that if we're struggling against a low block, it's also the players that have to look at themselves and say, we had so many opportunities. We had 77 minutes against 10 men. And Everton were crap. I'm not seeing enough people talking about how bad Everton were. And that's what boils my blood, right? Because Tottenham in the Europa League final were horrendous. The guy barely got a touch on the ball, and he has a tattoo on his foot of scoring that goal, Brendan Johnson, right? He barely got a touch on the ball, and we were playing with Onana and all these crap players. So I think with the Amorim thing, guys, we desperately want someone to blame. Goldbridge, he'll do a 40-minute video where he'll say all the words for Amorim out, and every 5 minutes he'll be like, oh, I'm not Amorim out. Just because he knows it's a bad business decision to be Amorim out this early, right? So I'm telling you guys, there's a ton of people. Like, Amorim is essentially a witch that the town folk want to chase out of town, right? It doesn't matter if he's actually a witch or not. It just matters that the town folk believe he's a witch. And that's the problem I have with this whole situation.
My only question is, and this would have been a debate topic, but my only question, because he was my preferred target at the time. Would you have
In
taken?
terms of manager,
Yeah, would you have taken De Zerbi?
would I have taken De Zerbi? If we're going back, if we're doing getting in the Wayback Machine,
revisited,
as it's
yeah.
called, yeah. If we're going back, I don't know, because he's been a little volatile. He's got that Thomas Tuchel in him where he keeps falling out with the club hierarchy. And even you see the stuff he said about Mason Greenwood recently, where he was like, oh, he had a tough time, he went through tough things, and rightly so. People on Twitter calling him out, like, bro, he was the one who did the thing, right?
Yeah.
So Mason Greenwood deserves everything he got, and I'm a firm believer in that.
I'm not going to defend Mason Greenwood, to be fair.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Nobody is. If you want to keep coming back on the channel, that is, because we're not trying to get canceled here. But yeah,
Right.
but seriously, like, Mason Greenwood got everything, but then De Zerbi's defending that too. So that's another thing. So I wouldn't have said no to him, but now that I've seen everything from Amorim, and also how charismatic he is, because De Zerbi also strikes me as somebody, he's like who's got the I know better than you air about him. Whereas Amorim seems a lot more humble. He's a lot more likable than De Zerbi. I'd say that too.
I like managers who win, personally.
Yeah.
This is a crazy take. I like managers who win.
Yeah.
De Zerbi took Marseille from 8th to 2nd, and they're 2 points away from PSG.
But I'll tell you what,
PSG,
Nelson.
I'd be upset. That's what
I'll tell you what. You got Oliver Glasner, who's winning a lot at Palace. But I bet you my top dollar that if he was playing at United, you wouldn't like him. You wouldn't like that kind of football.
I don't want Glasner. I don't like. I liked Iraola. I like. To be fair, I like. De Zerbi was my number one pick. I thought De Zerbi was coming for sure. And then when Amorim came in, I said, okay, let's see. I hadn't watched. I don't watch the Portuguese league, so I didn't know much about him. But at least I'd watched De Zerbi. We struggle against De Zerbi teams, so I like people who play that brand of football.
But Nelson, have you seen that video after we beat Brighton when Amorim is pulling onto the training ground and a fan asks him for a picture? He rolls the window down. He's got the sunglasses on.
Oh yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
Can you imagine anybody else doing that? Do you agree that Amorim's a likable guy?
Amorim is a likable guy. I think Amorim is a charismatic guy. I have never felt like there should be, if there's a guy who should win something, I hope
there
it's
you go.
him. But
so we're on the same page.
Yeah, but
I want to tell you guys something.
Yeah.
As much as you guys are, let me just say this: are glazing De Zerbi. I think, for me, speaking from my point of view, De Zerbi would have been.
Sorry, Robert. I have to stop you right there, bro. If you're gonna go into politics someday, like, I would vote for you, man. The way this guy speaks, I'm just like, this is a president addressing the nation. Like, my God, I appreciate, dude. Anyways, continue. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
He's got one of those voices which makes you say, "Let him cook."
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Go ahead.
What
Go
I'm
ahead,
saying
Robert.
is, as much as you guys are glazing De Zerbi and how his tactics are, I'll tell you this: De Zerbi would have been more of a failure in United than Amorim would have. Because, first of all, let's look at the squad we had last season. Who did we have as our keeper? Andre Onana. You can say he's one of the best ball-playing keepers. Yeah, I agree. And I can't dispute the fact that he's a good ball-playing goalkeeper, but he doesn't have hands, first of all. He does not have hands. Then, you look at your defense, you had a young Lenny Yoro, Matthias De Ligt, who was getting in and out of the squad. Injury prone, Lisandro Martinez. Then your midfield duo. Let's say you have Casemiro, and then you have Kobe Mainoo, and then you have Bruno. And you're saying you want to tell these guys to play positional football, passing out from the back, and De Zerbi will do better. For me, I still think Amorim.
Also, may I just say, hold on, Nelson, hold on.
Please,
also, may I just say, if we're seeing Amorim on the brink of, because there's rumors that last December he wanted to quit, De Zerbi would have already quit. De Zerbi would have quit with these players. He would have quit.
That being even worse than it is right now.
Yeah. But Nelson, go ahead.
Yeah. No, No, I think Robert, you're to be fair, I'm a big De Zerbi fan. Yes, I am glazing him. And I'll tell you why I'm glazing him. If you see that Olympic Marseille squad, he's made Aubameyang looks good again.
Yeah, he scored 2 goals yesterday in the Champions League.
No one would have touched Aubameyang before that. Rabiot looks good again. Mason Greenwood, the guy we don't want to talk about, looks world class. And to be fair, Greenwood did look like he was about to be world class for us.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He, after all the shenanigans he went through, he's back again. If you know anyone who's a PSG fan or anyone who's watched PSG a lot, ask them about Timothy Weah, and you'd see how people used to hate on him.
Also, to add to your point, Nelson, Højbjerg is playing in.
Højbjerg struggling for like. I'm not kidding. I genuinely agree with you. I think we would have still had a shit season last season. Onana sucks. Let's be honest, our turn of form changed when Onana left. But I don't want this to be a revisionism thing. I just think De Zerbi would have been a better option. The club agreed. The club disagreed on maybe money or other things. But I think De Zerbi would have been the better option. Personally.
Okay, let me now continue. What's the biggest problem you have with our team right now?
Sorry, go ahead, Robert.
What's the biggest problem?
Nelson, respond to the man. What's the biggest problem you have?
We're playing 3 center backs who can progress the ball. That's the issue.
Yeah, ball progression, right?
Yeah.
And the second issue is what? Breaking down deep defenses.
Yeah.
Right? Because of what? We don't have players who are ready to take the risk on the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is Manchester United, where everything is blown out of proportion. You cannot get a player who is already out of form with the size of Manchester United. Let's say you have your Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Aubameyang was class. I remember when he joined Arsenal, I had one Arsenal friend when I was still in actually middle school, and he glazed on Aubameyang, and Aubameyang was fast. I remember I played with him once in FIFA 17, and he was actually a good player. But
17, FIFA 17.
That's how old were you, FIFA 17, bro? Were you like 10 years old?
11.
He was 11.
You need to fix your camera, Robert. You need to fix your camera, bro.
I do actually have to go. Sorry, boys.
Okay, no worries.
Robert did beat me, but
yeah, you made him quit. You made Nelson leave.
I have to go. Sorry.
All right. See you, Nelson. But yeah, Robert, listen. We appreciate the points, bro. Honestly, we are already 20 minutes beyond when I planned to stay here. As you've noticed, I'm standing up now because it's been 2 hours. Yes. But Robert, let's get a prediction for the next 4 games. What do you think is going to happen? How many points do we get?
Let me have a look. We are playing Forest next, right?
No, we're playing Crystal Palace.
No, yeah, Palace. I mean Palace.
We're playing Palace, then West Ham, then Wolves, and then Bournemouth last.
This is my verdict. If to show that for me to believe in these players, they need to turn a tide against Crystal Palace, because I am of the opinion that Manchester United is in that place whereby it's like you're driving at night, but you're sleepy. Then you hit that bump and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be driving, and you wake up. So if United can turn a tide against Crystal Palace, I think we can win. We can win at least 2 of the remaining and maybe draw 1.
So is that a win against Palace? You're saying if we beat Palace, we can win 2 of the remaining games?
Yes. If we beat Palace, I reckon we beat Bournemouth. For me, I think we beat Bournemouth, draw West Ham, just because it's is this Santo Nuno Santo team?
Yeah, Nuno, yeah.
And I think because of sheer quality, we beat Wolves. I think we can beat Wolves. Yeah, that's
awesome, man. That's awesome. Okay, that's awesome. Honestly, I have more faith in those results because of Gathanua two-term. So I agree with you, Robert. I don't know
what's this brother's channel name? Accomplished Algae. That is like the most unique channel name I've ever read.
Yeah. But anyways, Robert, tell me, what's it going to take for you to set up a camera? It can be a phone camera, it can be a computer camera, whatever you want. Because I'd love to have you on the next fan debate. whenever we do it, because tomorrow we already have Kalyug and Shant ready to do a debate. But I think the next time after that, Nelson and you could do a very good debate. But I need you to be on camera.
Well, the reason I'm not on camera most of the time is because, you see, your calling shows happen in the night. You see, in the night, and my room doesn't have that good of lighting, and like where I can sit in the living room lounge, and my mother is always around, you see, and there's a lot of noise. That's why even I don't attend most of the callings, even though I listen to them. Yeah, so it might be difficult, but I think
Just see, you have some time. So tomorrow you have 8 days to figure it out. By next Thursday, if you can figure it out, I'd love to have you, because it's refreshing, man. I mean, you, Papi PK, these are people, guys, everybody that's still watching. These are people that became United fans during the Ten Hag era. Okay, they need a lifetime achievement award just for that. So and the fact that you can speak so much sense. Yeah, go ahead.
I actually became a fan in that season after seeing that Van Persie goal, where he was like, no touch, just first shot, and I was like, I'm gonna score that kind of a goal one day. That's when
are you talking about 2014?
Yeah, that season. Yeah, that
so
season.
You would have been 8 years old.
Yes. Yes, that's the time I became a Manchester United fan, because I also remember that the Flying Dutchman. I watched that game.
Yes,
I remember that game.
That was for the Netherlands, right? In the World Cup of 2014.
The World Cup. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that game. That was actually the time I was getting into football.
This kid had more ball knowledge at 8 years old than most adults do. That's amazing, man. I'm so happy
most
to
adults
have
who are paid to
you
talk
and
about.
Yeah. So happy to have you as part of the community. People like you, there's so many of you guys who know what they're talking about and participate in all the shows. So many familiar names every time I see in the comment section. Makes me so happy to be here. It's 1:34 a.m. for me right now. And I'm still just energized by listening to you guys. So thank you,
Robert. If you want to show this last half an hour of this stream, whenever you've been on, to your mother, maybe she will give you some more light and more time to be on the stream, because we really appreciate having you here, man. So Robert's mom, if you're watching this, please set it up for Robert to be able to do this. Okay, yeah, show her tomorrow. Show her this video tomorrow, and show her the last 10 minutes, because we loved having you on, man. This is honestly great. And I genuinely, this is not even me just saying that because you're 19 and we like you. I think you have so much value to add to a debate. So if 8 days from now, if you're available, you can be on camera. We'd love to have you.
And are you on Discord? Are you on the Discord group?
No, not yet. Actually, I'm not that kind of social media guy, so I
just join the Discord. You don't have to say anything. You can just stay up to date with what we're discussing, because that's where we usually pick like who's going to be on the debate. So if you can just join the Discord, even through your phone, just read. You don't have to write that much. Yeah.
Yeah, the Discord link is in the video description of this video, so you can just go there after this.
Absolutely. Cool, guys. Thank you so much for the stream. We went, 30 plus minutes over. Thank you to Robert for making it so much fun for us. Vinny as well, who joined the stream for the first time yesterday and today also, made it very fun for us. And Rishi, as always, thank you so much. Guys, the Stat Patters podcast is going to be out today. I'm going to try to get it out in a few hours. I'm looking at a new software that can help us record and edit a lot faster, so that it could have been out yesterday instead of today. But we're going to get it out nonetheless. And the next video is probably going to be the Cunha video coming out soon. So stay tuned either today or tomorrow. But I also need to go to the gym and have a life, maybe touch some grass. So hopefully you guys can stay patient. But thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Peace.